a well-educated man, Coop, and a trained pilot.
And an engineer.
The world doesn't need any more engineers. We didn't run out of planes and television sets. We ran out of food.
We must confront the reality that nothing in our solar system can help us.
Now you need to tell me what your plan is to save the world.
We're not meant to save the world. We're meant to leave it.
I've got kids, Professor.
Get out there and save them.
I have no idea when you're coming back.
I'm coming back. Murph, I love you. Forever.
And he does come back, sweetie.
Just takes a little bit of time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think like 70 or 80 years, something like that. Hey, everybody, my name's Todd Adams. I'm with Zen Pop.
And this is Kathy Adams.
We are going to talk about a film, I think, from 2014 called Interstellar.
Yeah. And it is part of Space Month.
Third installment of Space Month.
That word installment is coming back.
That's right.
I'm not a fan of that word. We did E.T. We did, what did we do last week? We did E.T. Todd and I have had a long day.
We have, our brains aren't quite switched on. They're actually shutting down like TARS.
Like TARS. But that's what TARS was built to do, Todd.
That's right.
Do you know what I mean? Like these computers, we fall in love with them just like I love Grogu, even though he's not real. But their job, well, actually, Grogu's not a computer. He's a real little Yoda. You know what I mean?
We did Apollo 13.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. But we fall, TARS becomes human to them.
Yeah. And there's a second robot, whatever you call it. Case. Case has a lot less personality, or they give Case a little bit less than TARS.
It's a little like C-3PO, R2-D2. Like, we don't want to lose these people.
No,
these
absolutely not.
Robots.
So before we get into setting the scene, just what is your overall take on this movie?
Okay, so I think this movie is very heavy. And even though it's really well done and it's beautiful, like there's scenes that are beautiful to watch, and it's very moving, and I get the deeper themes, which we'll talk about during Rolling in the Deep. This is not a movie I return to the way some people do.
Probably because of the heaviness.
That's what I mean. Is like, I'm kind of not interested in dystopian. I know this is a science fiction space movie. I understand it's, Christopher Nolan. I understand all that, but I don't like reading about or seeing movies about, the world ending.
No.
Not a fan.
No.
And so I went into watching it this time with much more of a focus on the relationships, because I didn't feel like going deep into the fact that food was running out.
This is heavy.
Big time.
Do you know who said that just now?
It sounded really familiar.
Oh, this is heavy.
I don't know. Who was it?
Heavy, Doc.
Oh, it's Michael J. Fox.
Very good.
Mm-hmm. We could have done Back to the Future.
Yeah, space.
No, you're right. That's time travel.
Yeah.
Okay.
So first of all, I just want to apologize in advance, because you've seen this movie 1.5 times. I think.
Twice total.
I've seen it twice.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of Interstellar freaks out there.
Right, like Stans. Yeah.
We are not, most movies that we talk about, we have seen many times.
Yeah.
So this is kind of a new one for us, because we've seen it together less than 4 times.
Yes.
So if somebody's looking for a deeper dive on Interstellar,
don't ask people to not listen.
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm going to say you're not going to learn a lot if you're already a freak of this movie.
I don't agree with that. I think that this is...
We're going to talk about other symbolic themes, but from I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. You don't want to start your podcast by telling people why they don't want to hear it. I think that we're going to focus on this movie maybe in a different way, because I'm going to talk about things that are, regarding relationships and regarding some of I have a lot of Matt Damon lore and a lot of Christopher Nolan lore. So people who've seen this movie a million times, it may be different than your average overview,
right?
But I still think you're going to enjoy it. So don't
I
go
think
anywhere.
So don't go anywhere.
Don't
Stay with
time.
us.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to set the scene.
Sure.
Wow. All right. So I'm just gonna rip off a few. I'm guessing a lot of people probably haven't seen this in the last few days, like we have.
The last few days, probably not. So, do you want to just give the overview?
First, I'm going to say who's in it.
Oh, okay.
All that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Matthew McConaughey, he plays Cooper. He's a former NASA pilot and also now a farmer. Anne Hathaway, she's Dr. Amelia Brand. Jessica Chastain, she plays the adult Murph. We have 3 different Murphs in this movie. She's the middle one.
Yes.
Mackenzie Foy is young Murph, does a wonderful job.
Yeah.
Michael Caine is Professor Brand.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Damon is Dr. Mann.
You know what his name is, don't you? What his first name is?
No, Michael?
Hugh.
Hugh Mann. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Very good. John Lithgow is Donald. That's Cooper's father-in-law. Casey Affleck as Tom Cooper. There's a few Tom Coopers.
Timothy Chalamet.
Timothy Chalamet plays young Tom. And that's it. So some awards and nominations. It won 1 Academy Award for Best Visual Effects.
Okay.
And it was nominated for Best Original Score, Best Film Editing, Best Production Design, Best Sound Editing, and Best Sound Mixing. So a lot of the nerdy ones.
Mm-hmm.
I think it should have been nominated for Best Picture, and I might even do a little research.
Really?
I think it's incredible. I forgot to say this. For a movie I've only seen twice, it's not a space movie. It's a movie about human nature. I really kind of dove deeper than I thought I would regarding the symbolism and the meaning of this movie. It's just played through the lens of interstellar travel. But it's really about, do we sacrifice for our children at the expense of our children? It's really kind of a weird, deep movie, as you said.
Without an answer.
I think that there's room for debate.
And the reason why I say without an answer is because we can really discuss that. We can say, well, it was all worth it. And what he did was good. Obviously, it was good for the planet and everything. But there is still guilt that he has. He still missed their entire lives. And there's still a question of the individual benefit versus the total benefit. Like, was he the person who had to go, which maybe he was the person who had to go because it worked.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a lot of question. Like when he's in the Tesseract, he actually says, and again, he doesn't know who he is yet. Like he's still figuring out, but he actually keeps saying, Murph, don't let me go, or just don't go. Like he's talking to himself. And again, these are the kind of things where everything works out and we're like, see, it was all good, but there's a lot lost as well.
The movie that won Best Picture for that year, Birdman, I believe.
Birdman. Okay, that makes sense.
Michael Keaton.
Yes. So that wasn't the spotlight year.
Well, it's weird. I always kind of get mixed up, but Birdman was released in 2014.
Okay.
As was Interstellar. So I assume I'm in the correct year.
Okay.
So anyways, so just to kind of now, like we've done some kind of silly movies like Best in Show.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I did the 3-act summary because
it wasn't necessary.
There wasn't much story there.
It's about a dog competition.
But the 3-act summary for this, I think, is a little bit more important.
Shall we play a game?
So I'm going to go ahead, sweetie.
No, I was going to say, just kind of keep it on the top end. Cause we could do such a deep overview of this movie.
It's 3 sentences per act.
Oh, so good. That's not bad. Go ahead.
Act 1, in the near future. So that's the thing. I think this is like meant to be 2060 or 2061. Okay. So it's about 40 years from now.
Okay.
Former NASA pilot Cooper farms with his father-in-law and 2 kids. His daughter Murph believes a ghost is sending her messages through books.
Yep.
Following binary coordinates embedded in the dust, Cooper and Murph discover a secret NASA facility where Professor Brand reveals that a wormhole near Saturn placed by unknown beings, may offer humanity's only escape. Cooper is recruited to lead the Endurance mission to find a habitable planet. Sweetie, can you explain what a wormhole is? If the answer is no,
it's an escape to another dimension. It's like a little slide that you can go down where you can get to another place.
Yeah, that's pretty close.
Yeah.
It is a way to travel much further distances.
Mhm.
So, because where we want to go find a habitable planet or star or whatever, there's nothing in our solar system. So it is beyond the possibility as it relates to our scientific understanding.
You know how I learned about wormholes?
How?
Besides school?
Yeah.
Stranger Things.
There you go.
Yeah.
So this is a way to, it's kind of like, the Millennium Falcon does hyperspeed.
Yes.
It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
It can go a really, really, really long distance in a short amount of time through a wormhole.
Yeah.
Act 2. The crew travels through this wormhole to a distant galaxy with 3 candidate planets. The first is Miller's planet. A disaster. Extreme time dilation means every hour equals 7 years on Earth, and they lose 23 years in one wave. Man's planet, that's played by Matt Damon. Hugh Man. They long thought he was dead, attempts murder and sabotage when his survival instincts overrides his mission. He dies, the crew is left stranded. Meanwhile, on Earth, Murph has grown up and discovered Professor Brand's secret. Plan A was never real. He could never solve gravity. Plan B was always the only plan. Can you explain any more deeper dive you want to do about Plan A, Plan B?
He said there was these 2 plans, but he really only ever intended for the second plan to happen. I think the first plan was a way to get people to do it.
Exactly.
And Plan B was the reality of what was going to be done.
And Plan A, and this is played by Michael Caine, Sir Michael Caine. Is he a sir? And it is and Plan A is to be able to get the humans on Earth to these places.
Correct.
Plan B is to bring these embryos or something and start
the eggs
to get humans once they arrive at this planet.
So like Anne Hathaway, and we're going to assume everyone has watched it or knows enough or doesn't care that we're going to talk about all the parts. At the end, where she ends up, the planet where she ends up, she's like a mom to all of this new civilization. And the whole point of this holding place that Murph Cooper got the people to, they will eventually go to this place where Anne Hathaway is. Yeah. So not only are they starting new, but they're also bringing the people who are now in a holding place.
Yeah.
And they're playing baseball there, Todd.
Yeah.
At this holding
outfield
place.
kind of goes straight up.
It sure does.
Weird. Act 3, Cooper sacrifices himself to give Brand, that's Anne Hathaway's character, enough thrust to reach Edmund's planet.
Correct.
Falling into the black hole Gargantua. Inside, he finds himself in something called a Tesseract. It's a 5-dimensional space created by future humans, where he can see every moment of Murph's old bedroom across time. He transmits the quantum gravity data that she needed via the second hand of her watch. Murph solves the equation. Humanity escapes Earth. Cooper is ejected from the singularity and rescued near Saturn. He wakes up on a space station, reunites briefly with the dying elderly Murph, that's his daughter, and leaves to find Brand on Edmund's planet.
Correct.
Piece of cake. That's 3 hours right there.
Yeah. And honestly, because Matthew McConaughey does not trust Anne Hathaway at the beginning when she wants to go to Edmund's planet first.
Yes.
She doesn't want to do Miller's or Mann's. She wants to go to Edmund's planet. Why? Because she loves Edmund. And he thinks that's clouding her judgment.
Do you want to hear Anne Hathaway in that scene?
Sure.
Isn't something we invented. It's observable, powerful. It has to mean something.
Love has meaning. Yes, social utility, social bonding, child rearing.
We love people who have died. Where's the social utility in that?
None.
Maybe it means something more, something we can't yet understand. Maybe it's some evidence, some artifact of a higher dimension that we can't consciously perceive. I'm drawn across the universe to someone I haven't seen in a decade who I know is probably dead. Love is the one thing we're capable of perceiving that transcends dimensions of time and space. Maybe we should trust that, even if we can't understand it yet.
Thank you.
And I say that.
What do you think?
Yes. And that's so, and again, it's a movie, you know, in real time. Could I trust all of that? I don't know, but sure sounds good to me. And I don't just mean it makes my heart feel full. I mean, like, love, you can't, well, of course you can observe it, but it may not make complete sense to us, but it is something, and it is a powerful energy.
Well, we're dabbling into, which is fine, rolling in the deep, but I will say, I feel like this is a Jack versus Locke conversation.
Correct. Man of science, man of faith.
Yes.
And that is, it is. But I also think in this situation, like first of all, just what I said, he's talking about Lost, the show Lost, man of science, man of faith. And there was a lot of verses, and they don't have to be verses. You can do science and you can do faith.
Well, I'm going to go ahead.
Boy, it's hot. This is hot.
You're not going to go, you don't like Anne Hathaway's choice.
Look at you deciding what I'm going to do.
Well, let's hear it.
Women's intuition.
Human intuition.
I'm going to say women's intuition. He is locked in his head.
Yeah, for real.
She is feeling.
Sure.
Even though a man, that's Matt Damon's character, is giving false information to seduce them to go to the planet so
because
that
he's
he
scared.
could be saved. So the data says absolutely go to Matt Damon's planet. And she's feeling, I want to go to this other one.
He is, and again, is the word extrapolating. I'm like you're kind of watching Matthew McConaughey listen to her. And so you're getting this gist because he does push back, but he's like, oh, just a woman being caught up in her emotions.
That's exactly right.
And she's trying to say, I feel something here. And, she was right.
That's right.
If they would have started there, they would have, because there's a few members of their team that they lost. And, it was a big choice.
You ready to do a little remember when?
Sure.
So this is usually where we talk about, we used to watch this movie when we were 10 years old, but because it's a newer movie, my only remember when, I think I have two things to share. One is when I watched this for the first time, when they thought it was a mountain, I think, when they're in the second planet,
the wave.
And it's a big, giant wave. I just remember like almost losing my breath.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, that's like the size of a building.
Yeah.
So I remember that. And obviously we'll talk about the scene where Matthew McConaughey's character watches the videos. So those are my two remember ones. Like those are stuck in my memory forever.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I just want to share is the second viewing was better for me than the first.
Because you didn't have to figure it out.
I didn't have to try as hard.
I get it.
Anyways.
I can't say that because the first viewing, I think I was tired. And I'm just going to say, don't watch Christopher Nolan movies when you're tired, because there's a lot to pick up on. I will just say that I remember the wave from the commercial.
Yeah.
From the trailer.
Yeah.
I remember being like, oh my God. So I am not surprised that they were nominated for all of the visual effects. Academy Awards. It's very beautiful.
Do you have any other remember whens?
I know.
Okay. I'm going to go to best scene really quick. Are you okay with that?
Best scene?
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm just going to throw some scenes at you to tell me.
Are you not entertained?
So that's not from the movie. That's just my little way.
That's our segue into best scenes because, Gladiator.
You did watch this with me.
Correct.
The reviewing yesterday. The Tesseract. No, the Tesseract.
The Tesseract.
So I needed to do a little research because I get confused myself about 1 dimension, 2 dimensions, 3 dimensions, 4 dimensions.
Well, before you get into that,
sure,
because I know you're going to talk about the movie. What other movie has a Tesseract?
No idea.
Marvel. That's what they're going after.
Which one? All of them?
Yeah. That's a big part of it. I actually had to look up like what how are they similar and how are they different, you
Mhm.
know? But the Tesseract is a hypercube. It's 4-dimensional equivalent of a cube. Just as a square is expanded into a 3-dimensional cube, a Tesseract is a 4D geometric tube that consists of 8 cubes, 24 square faces, 32 edges, and 16 vertices. Pretty cool.
It is. And it's kind of confusing to look at in a beautiful
Yes.
way. So I need it. People are like, oh, we live in 4 dimensions. And I'm like,
Right.
what's I think of like a 3-dimensional cube. So, and I heard Neil deGrasse Tyson explain the dimensions and why the Tesseract is the 5th dimension. And it now makes sense to me, whereas before it didn't. So if you are like, hey, let's go have lunch somewhere, these are the things that we would need to know in order to make sure that we meet at lunch.
Okay.
Okay. So let's say there's a big John Hancock building.
Okay.
So in order for us to figure out where we're going to have lunch together, we need the streets, the cross streets.
Yeah.
So one is up and down. That's one dimension. The other is left and right. So think of a grid.
Okay.
You got to know where you are on the map.
Chicago's on the grid.
Those are 2 dimensions. The 3rd dimension is maybe you're on the 5th floor or the 50th floor.
Okay.
That's the 3rd dimension.
Okay.
So the up and the down. So that gives you the 3-dimensional perspective. The 4th dimension is time. So what that means is if you're like, let's meet for dinner at the John Hancock building, but we didn't say what time it was.
We need to know when.
We need to know when.
Mhm.
So that's the 4th dimension. The 5th dimension, as kind of illustrated in the Tesseract, is that you're able to see all the times
available,
Mhm. which we don't have in our
Mhm.
normal human, non-quantum mechanical existence. So that kind of helped me understand, okay, now I understand the dimensions. So anyways.
Okay, that's really good.
Yeah.
I like that. And just to like go back to Marvel for a second, because I'm sure there's Marvel fans listening. The Tesseract in Marvel, I always think of Loki with it, is a cube-shaped containment vessel. It houses the space stone, which is one of the 6 infinity stones in the universe. It has cosmic energy, and people can teleport, which is Loki uses it.
Mhm.
You know who Loki is?
Yeah.
So
That's
anyway,
Thor's brother, right?
correct.
I know.
And ironically, guess who played Loki in Thor Ragnarok?
The same guy that played him in all of them, right?
No, in the performance that they do on stage, they do a performance of Thor's family.
Oh.
So it's like Shakespeare. It's, modeled after. And anyway, it's Matt Damon.
Oh, really?
Plays Loki. Yeah.
I found out Matt Damon had an opportunity to be in Avatar, and he couldn't because he was in the Bourne movies, and he had a chance to have 10% of the points. Or
Correct.
Something like that.
He would be like a billionaire. Mm-hmm.
That's what I call an oops.
Yeah. Well, and I also heard, I know this kind of getting into random facts, but that Christopher Nolan called him and said, hey, Matt Damon, you know how there's no small parts? Just, what's the next thing you say after that? No small parts, only small something. Basically, it's like something actors say to like convince each other to be in a movie.
Yeah.
And Christopher Nolan's like, so I got a small part for you.
Yeah.
Come do it. And it pretty much paid off because he is the lead of The Odyssey, which is coming out soon. And I'm, Christopher Nolan, and he was in Oppenheimer as well.
There you go.
So Christopher Nolan likes to use people over and over again.
Likes to use Michael Caine.
Well, let me tell you, I have a list of his reoccurring characters. You
All
ready?
right, sure.
Reoccurring actors. Michael Caine, he's the king. Like he's been in 8 of Nolan's films.
That's a lot.
Inception, Batman Begins, Interstellar, and on and on. Next person, Cillian Murphy, has been in 6 films. He auditioned to be Bruce Wayne in Batman Begins, didn't get it, but he ended up being Scarecrow. And do you remember he's at the beginning of Dark Knight too? The very beginning, they take his, he's in the parking garage.
Yeah.
And then he was in Oppenheimer in the lead. He won an Academy Award, so that's good. He was also in Dunkirk and Inception. Tom Hardy was in Inception, Dark Knight Rises as Bane, and Dunkirk. Kenneth Branagh, he was in Dunkirk. He was in Tenet. Tenet, I haven't seen. And Oppenheimer. Matt Damon, we just said, Interstellar, Oppenheimer, and The Odyssey. Christian Bale did the Dark Knight trilogy plus The Prestige. Gary Oldman was Commissioner Gordon in all the Dark Knight movies. And Joseph Gordon-Levitt was in Inception and The Dark Knight Rises. So he likes to use his people. Now, one thing that I didn't notice in there, oh, here it is. One woman, Christopher Nolan.
Come on, buddy.
Anne Hathaway. She was in 2 Nolan films, The Dark Knight Rises and Interstellar.
Well, and apparently he helped revive her career because everybody, you remember that time everybody hated on her?
I do.
So in the moment everybody was hating on her for whatever reason, he's like, no, come do this movie with me. And it kind of gave her more, I don't know, stability or something.
Yeah, she was too eager for people. She was in Les Mis and she was nominated for an Academy Award, and she had one of those, she was winning all the awards on the path to the Academy Award. And people were kind of like, she's way too earnest and we don't buy it. And the tears, we don't get it. Like she just wasn't, and I'm not agreeing with this. It's just people get really weird about like, we want you to be above this and not want it. I think it actually hurt Timothée Chalamet last year when he said, or 2 years ago when he said, I want to be great. And I think that he also did some things like he wasn't very nice about the ballet and said some things this year that pissed people off. And he's going to have to wait a little bit to get that Academy Award. People are so weird.
Yeah.
Do you know
we
what I
want
mean?
you to be great, but don't say you want to be
Don't
great.
say you're great. Be great, but don't say you're great. And be grateful, but don't look like you're trying too hard to be grateful.
T Swizzle got in trouble for all that.
Exactly. That's exactly why Anne Hathaway. And there may have been other things, like she was married to this guy who ended up like swindling her, and you know, she may have, I don't know. There's probably other things, but that's what I remember.
2 more scenes.
Okay.
Dr. Mann's reveal, the most brilliant man NASA sent discovers he lied about his planet's data out of fear of dying alone. So I do have just a little clip of that right here.
Sure.
Where he's basically telling Matthew Cooper, you know, I was lying to you guys the whole time.
Yep.
I'm sorry. I can't let you leave with that shit. We're gonna need it to complete the mission. Once the others realize what this place isn't, we cannot survive here. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
And on they go. I just remember being like, because I just assumed Matt Damon was a good guy. And the fact that they hid that Matt Damon was in the movie, you know, he's uncredited, whatever that means. So they kept him a secret, hoping that the moviegoer would be surprised that Matt Damon was in it. But when I realized this dude's a bad guy, I couldn't believe it.
Okay. You ready for my top 6?
Yes.
Okay. So play my music.
Oh, that music. I got it.
My Casey K.
Countdown continues on our way to number 1.
Casey's Coast to Coast.
Okay. My list is Matt Damon's 6 best morally iffy roles.
Okay.
You ready?
Yep.
Because he's been morally iffy before.
Can I guess a few of them?
Sure. Go ahead.
School Ties.
Correct.
This one.
Yep.
That's all I got.
Okay. I'm going to start with number 6.
Yep.
Again, I originally was going to say when Matt Damon, did I say Dylan? Did I say Damon?
Let's just assume you said Damon.
Okay. If I said Dylan, everybody, I'm sorry. I've been watching There's Something About Mary lately because I've been falling asleep to it. So he's kind of on my mind. 6 of them. And
Yep.
number 6, I have Courage Under Fire. Okay.
Is that Michael J. Fox?
No, that is Meg Ryan and Denzel Washington.
Never seen it.
And here's the thing. I was going to say Matt Damon as a villain, but I instead said morally iffy, so I could include certain movies, and this was one of them. This was a movie, this was in 1996, and it's about Meg Ryan was the leader of her troop, or I don't know military lingo very well, but she was the leader of this group.
Yep.
She was not getting a lot of respect from her group in like battle situations and other situations. And anyway, she died. And there was an investigation into why she died, and it's not good news. Meaning that, you know, it wasn't enemy combat. Let's just say that. And Matt Damon was part of her group, and he had seen what happened, but was struggling to talk about it, and became drug addicted, and he lost like 40 pounds for this role. He doesn't even look like himself.
Yeah.
And he actually hurt his body by losing that much weight. But that's when people started to know who he was. So 1996 was a breakout time for him. That was Courage Under Fire. And it was morally iffy because he hadn't really told the truth and he had gotten addicted to drugs and blah, blah. Number 5, Interstellar. We just talked about it. This is a really human thing, though.
Oh, yeah. He wants to survive.
Human. We'll beat that to death. Like he's afraid. He's a hero. Like he went up there to
sacrifice.
He sacrificed, but he became lonely and wanted to go home.
And part of me is like, you do whatever you can.
Right. To survive.
To keep breathing.
Well, and that was something that I heard Christopher Nolan wanted to make sure we understood is there's normal human survival needs. And that is Dr. Mann a true villain? Of course, when he tries to kill Cooper, no good. But the desire to go home, no, that's very human. And so it's
right. It's a little confusing.
It is. So that this movie does that, though. They're trying to confuse you. Okay, number 4. You will not fully agree, but Rounders.
Oh, interesting. All right.
I think he's like classic iffy. He's just kind of weak. You know what I mean? He keeps choosing poker over the people who love him, lying to himself that he's got it under control. He is morally, he's not great to his girlfriend, lies to her, borrows money from his professor. I understand he's trying to help Worm, but it's morally iffy. Yeah. Let's just say that. I like Mikey. Yeah. Good, but is it Mikey? Is that right?
It is.
Okay, next one. Number 3, School Ties.
Yeah.
Full villain role. Okay. He's a privileged kid. You kind of realize he's got a lot of bigotry and a lot of insecurity. Like he is in love with Brendan Fraser's girlfriend and he thought they were supposed to be together because they grew up together. Anyway, he's more of a coward at the end than ever. Right. Number 2, The Departed.
I've only seen that once.
So he doesn't see himself as evil. It's a big like Leo Matt Damon matchup, but there's a loyalty thing. It's a mob story, right?
Not a lot of protagonists in mob stories,
right? So it's more like you're horrified by what he's doing versus like he's the only evil one. I mean, it's not like Jack Nicholson's good in that movie, but he's definitely
there's Marky Mark.
Correct. Even though
Leo's a good guy, isn't he? Or no?
I mean,
I don't really remember it that well.
They're all a little bit iffy. Leo, though, goes in to be the rat.
Yeah.
Right? Mark Wahlberg is the only one who got an Academy Award nomination. How about that?
How about that?
Out of all those people. And then number 1, you can't guess number 1. I talk about it all the time because I love it so much.
Go ahead.
The Talented Mr. Ripley.
Oh, yeah. I've never even seen that. I saw parts of it with you like 2 months ago.
Yeah. So I love this movie. I can watch it over and over again. He is full on villain. He is full on not well. He kills people. How's the peepin', Tommy? That's all.
What does that mean?
That's what Philip Seymour Hoffman says to him. How's the peepin', Tommy? His name's Thomas Ripley. And he takes over Jude Law's. He becomes him.
He assumes
his identity and keeps, and Gwyneth Paltrow's in it, and it's in Italy. It's beautiful. So those are my top 6. Matt Damon.
Very good, babe.
Morally iffy.
The last best scene in the movie that I want to talk about is Cooper watching his kids grow up. So after they go to the water planet, they realize 24 years have gone by, and he after he realizes how much time has transcended, even though it's been 2 hours for them, it's been 24 years or whatever
23,
it is, or maybe 4 hours for them. So just under 24 years.
Yeah.
And he has this kind of famous moment as an actor where he is watching his kids
from beginning
grow up,
from the first message they left him to the present day.
So I do have one clip of Matthew talking about that scene. So here we go.
Matthew McConaughey himself.
That was a Monday morning, first shot up. It's not a scene about knowing the dialogue. It's not about saying the right word. It's about reacting. I walk in and I am in my own zone to receive whatever is going to happen in the scene.
When Nolan said, let's rehearse, this is what Matthew did.
We're rehearsing live, roll. And what you see in that take, that's the first take. Everything after take 1 is acting. Take 1 is where you really are reacting. So I wanted to see that tape of footage of my children in the movie for the first time, not have any anticipation. of what's going to come next or what they're going to say next. Or I wanted to and just receive it and then let happen what happens. I'm not trying to do anything in that scene.
Mr. Mojo.
Really powerful. It was not.
It's a super powerful scene. And
I feel like whenever anybody shows any miniature clip of this movie, that's what they show.
Well, it's a meme too. Yeah. Like when you're upset about something, you use that meme.
He crushes it. So anyways, all right. So should we go to what? Random facts?
Yeah, I was going to say the Bejeweled one.
Oh, Bejeweled.
Just believe I'm still bejeweled. When I walk in the room, I can still make the whole place shimmer.
This is, what do we call this one?
Hidden Gems.
Hidden Gems. That's why it's Bejeweled.
All right, what do you got?
My hidden gem is Tars, because do you know who does the voice of Tars?
I have it written down somewhere, but I don't know where it is written down on my computer.
Well, his name is Bill Irwin. He's a comedian. He's a physical actor, but he plays Mr. Noodle.
Oh, yeah.
On Elmo's World.
That's right.
And he, Bill Irwin, Christopher Nolan likes to work with Bill Irwin, and he tends to play the characters who aren't human because he's not just their voice, he does their body too, probably green screen or whatever. And because he's a clown and he can move kind of in a different way. Yeah. As we know, anybody who watched Mr. Noodle or Mr. Noodle's brother, Mr. Noodle.
Yeah, a lot of Mr. Noodles.
A lot of Mr.
on
Noodles.
Street.
But my girls loved Mr. Noodle, and it would make them laugh.
Who didn't? My goodness.
Right. Like Mr. Noodle. And you know who loved him the most? Elmo.
Yes, he did.
Loved Mr. Noodle. And Mr. Noodle was kind of like just a funny, like he just fell down a lot. You know what I mean?
He did.
Oh, Dorothy's been thinking about hands too. What's that, Dorothy? Huh?
Hold on.
You don't have to, Sherry. Oh, good cooperating.
That's his brother, though.
Yeah. Delacroix.
Yeah.
From Green Mile.
From Green Mile. Todd and I would watch these with the girls and we'd be like, oh, that's the guy from that movie. Anyway, that's so funny. I forgot that was Delacroix. Okay. So that's my hidden gem. What's your hidden gem?
We already talked about it, so we can move on.
All right. Random fact.
Jerry, do you know the human head weighs 8 pounds?
All right. What do I got for random facts? Hans Zimmer. We haven't talked about this.
Yes.
The score is super important. He came up with some ideas before seeing any footage. Christopher Nolan gave him a single page about a parent leaving a child. No other context. The emotion of the score came from Zimmer's personal response to that theme. So that's crazy.
Yes, it is.
And I'm just going to play a little bit of that since so people can remember. Here we go. Just sounds like a bunch of church organs.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it's powerful to me, is because it's futuristic, but at the same time
sounds like space.
But it also brings us back to, like, I don't know,
connection,
going to church when we were little kids.
Yeah, something holy.
So anyways.
Well, I will also tell you, as long as we're talking about Hans Zimmer, Euphoria, which is a show that Todd and I watch that's on HBO. Not the brightest of shows. It's quite dark. And we started watching it because our girls were watching it a long time ago. Now we're on season 3. The first 2 seasons were the composer was someone named Labyrinth. And if you know a Labyrinth song from Euphoria, like Todd, look it up and play it so people know, because
what am I looking up?
Just look up Labyrinth,
okay,
Euphoria. And it's his music that he used in Euphoria. And it was it captured the vibe and it captured like the feeling and the color of the show. It was kind of like, is it ethereal? Ethereal. Thank you. No,
this?
Nope.
No, that's not it.
No, I mean, that might be part of it, but it's more powerful than that. Can you do like season 1?
It says Labyrinth, still don't know my name. Official video Euphoria.
So this kind of the sound. I was thinking of another song, but this kind of captures it, right? A lot of like, whatever. For season 3, Labyrinth and Sam Levinson, who does Euphoria, they got in a big fight, falling out. So Hans Zimmer did the composing for season 3.
It's a nice trade.
It is, but it's strange because it's so grown up. Like, think about Hans Zimmer is like
an old dude.
Yeah, I'm like, why would we have Hans Zimmer? But I guess he did the music for Dune, and Zendaya's in Dune.
Yeah,
lots of connections.
Zendaya's pretty much in everything that's big.
She's in everything. Okay, keep going.
The cornfields in the movie are real. Nolan had 500 acres of corn planted in Alberta, Canada.
Yes.
After filming the production, sold the corn and actually made a profit on the crop. They're actually worried about it getting to, it's kind of like with Field of Dreams. There wasn't enough.
Too
yeah.
tall. Mm-hmm.
But then finally the corn just sprouted the way it should. And the other thing that I listened to is that corn doesn't burn. You know, remember that part where Murph tries to distract her brother? You can't really light up green live corn on fire like that. It just doesn't burn that way. As much as Christopher Nolan wants everything to be legit, he's like, well, in this movie it does. So anyways,
yeah,
I don't think it's easy to burn live stuff. It's got to be dead, dried out stuff.
I'm from where corn comes from.
DeKalb. That's right, baby.
DeKalb corn, everybody.
And the last thing I have is the film's original script was written by Jonathan Nolan over several years and was quite different. Cooper was not the main character initially. Christopher Nolan reworked it to center the father-daughter relationships. Yeah. Christopher Nolan knows what he's doing as far as I'm concerned.
The two of them work together. So John Nolan, his brother, is actually a classically trained actor, and he's been in Following, which was Christopher Nolan's first movie, Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rises, and Dunkirk, plus he helps him write.
Yeah.
So it's a good family duo.
Yeah.
It's a little like the Coen brothers.
Mm-hmm.
What's another? The Farrelly brothers.
The Zucker brothers? Airplane?
Yeah, Zucker brothers.
Yeah.
I bet there's even more brothers.
Yeah.
Where's the sisters?
What about the... I forget. There's a new set of brothers.
I know. Uncut Gems.
Yeah. Who are those? The one guy's in News Radio, or not News Radio. The Jennifer Aniston, Steve Carell show.
It's
on Apple.
Yeah, all I have to do. I do, and they have been nominated for a lot of awards. And they did Marty Supreme.
Oh, they did?
Yeah. And I'm going to look it up. So just sing a song really quick. Uncut Gems director is John and Benny Safdie, the Safdie brothers.
Oh, that's not who I was thinking of.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to find out who I was thinking of. Meanwhile, do you have any more?
Yeah. Random facts. You said most of it. Just that the science of the black hole and gargantua, and it was actually mathematically accurate, and it said that all the work they did to put this movie together, it actually produced 2 legitimate peer-reviewed scientific papers where a physics team discovered something they hadn't known before, that when a camera orbits a black hole at certain angles, it appears both above and below simultaneously. Like, because this movie was being created, we learned something about black holes.
Yeah.
That's all I'm trying to tell you. You don't have to really understand everything I just said.
The other brother group is the Duplass brothers.
Mark and
the other one.
And the guy who is in the show. Oh, God.
This is what happens when you try to podcast.
The dad is transgender. And what is that show called?
Jeffrey Tambor?
Yes, whatever that show's called. It's been a while, so it's okay that we don't remember the name. But yes, he's in that. Okay. So let's see. You want to guess how many continents this movie was filmed on?
I know they did Iceland.
That was the ice planet.
They did Canada.
Alberta for the Dying Earth Farm.
I'm guessing they did Europe, but I don't know where.
It says the ocean sequences were shot in water tanks and open ocean, but it doesn't say where.
That's not on any continent.
I know. Nolan refused to fake any location with a green screen.
Yeah.
The crew described it as the most physically demanding in recent Hollywood history. It's interesting because I wrote this down, but they didn't give us all 5. So I didn't get the full answer. I thought I got it.
All right.
And so how about WTF?
Boy, That escalated quickly.
It did, didn't it? All right, what do you got for WTF?
One of them I already said, which was, and you already said, which was Matt Damon's character being a secret, the phone call to him to be in the smaller part, and the fact that his name is Hugh Man, which is human, which we're beating to death, but it's kind of hilarious. My other WTF is that Christopher Nolan doesn't use email
He doesn't have a cell phone
or texting. So the only way that Christopher Nolan, who understands all of these crazy science fiction-y things, the only way he communicates is through his wife and his producer, who is a woman, Emma Thomas, and through landlines and in person.
Think how much more simple his life is because of that.
Or difficult.
And difficult.
Yeah.
But can you imagine not having this distraction machine next to you all the time?
No.
That would be awesome.
And
we all have the ability to do that if we so choose. We can never say, well, I could never do that. If Christopher Nolan can do it, we can do it.
Yes, but if you have a job that's your average person's job, you are expected to use it. So no, you can't. Like for JVI, you can't not use email.
He doesn't use email? I just thought he didn't have a cell phone.
No, Christopher Nolan doesn't use email.
Oh my God.
Nolan famously does not use email or own a mobile phone.
No.
He communicates with his wife, producer Emma Thomas, and through landlines and in person.
Interesting.
So,
okay. You got anything else?
Nope.
All right. So where are we going next?
Rolling in the deep.
Rolling.
So there's like so many things in this movie. And I was like, I had 4 pages going and I said, why don't I just focus on one, which is love being a physical force. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about love being a physical force. This is, the film argues that love is not just an emotion, but something that transcends dimension and time. Okay. Yeah. Amelia Brand, that's Michael Caine's daughter, played by Anne Hathaway. She gives a speech about this. Todd already played it, and a lot of people dismiss it as sentimental, but she's vindicated.
She sure
at
is.
The end. You know what I mean?
Well, he says, I'm sorry. You were right.
You were right. And Cooper's love for Murph is literally what saves humanity.
Yeah.
Okay. He wouldn't have kept going if he didn't love her. So that in itself, it's what motivated him inside the Tesseract. It's what drove him to continue communicating, to figure out how to use the watch and to be patient enough to do it. The film asks, what if the things we can't measure are the most powerful forces in the universe?
Yeah.
And, I remember, a lot of what's the quote about if it can't be measured, it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And that, Brene Brown's original TED Talk, the first one she did, she talked about, because of her personality type and the way she looks at things, and she's a researcher, she had that framed on her wall, if you can't, measure it, it just doesn't exist. And that gave her a lot of peace. And then she realized through all of her research that was completely wrong. And that you can't, not everything is organizational. Yeah. Not everything can be put in a category. Not everything is perfect. Some things are hard to define, like, things like love and time and faith and joy. And, and these, they're interconnected and they're their own thing.
Well, and to come at it through the scientific thing, there are certain things that scientists can't explain at all. I think there's something called, what is it? Like dark matter, negative space.
Well, the quantum physics angle, entanglement as love. The idea is that entangled particles remain connected even when they're separated. Yeah. And emotional bonds in love persist despite distance. It's not like you go to Wisconsin for work and I stop loving you.
Yeah.
You're no matter where you are. And, my parents, they're not here anymore. I still love them.
Yeah. Like, utility in that.
They're not here on earth, meaning that they have died. And that love, like quantum particles, they exist beyond our dimension. They connect people across time and space. And the parallel, like one of the parallels drawn is to energy conservation in physics. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. We talk about that all the time when we talk about death, only transformed. So love operates similarly. It shifts forms, but is indestructible, as are we as human beings. We are energy.
Yeah.
So again, layers and layers.
Yeah.
And then the other angle, a Jesuit priest. You like Jesuit priests? You went to Loyola.
I do.
I did as well. And he was an evolutionary philosopher. This guy named Pierre Teilhard de Chardin.
That's
my
pretty
French.
good.
He called love the most universal, the most tremendous, and the most mystical of cosmic forces. He described it as the primal and universal psychic energy and the blood of spiritual evolution.
Yeah, and I don't even know if us humans have cornered the market on that. Like any mother caring for its infant, whether it's a penguin or a whale or a chicken, like
loves.
Is that love or is that survival? I'm going to call it love.
Well, it's both. And we've found that not only do they love and take care, and we may say, well, it's perpetuating the species, they're just doing that.
But why? Like if you're an adult penguin, you're alive and you're caring for your child penguin, but that doesn't make you safer.
Well, and the other part that I was going to say was when there is death, many animals grieve. We know, we've watched elephants grieve. We know they grieve. We know whales grieve. Mama whales keep babies that have died with them.
Yeah.
They still swim around with them. I don't know for how long, but we know that animals get sad. Have you ever seen like all these videos of like dogs who are in a pound and they're like in the corner? Are they called dog pounds anymore?
Probably.
It sounds like, a cartoon.
Reminds me of Tom and Jerry.
Totally. But like a dog who is like in a kennel or locked up, and then maybe they had their puppies taken from them, and then they bring in the puppies and the dog freaks out and starts licking them and is so happy. And that happens with all sorts of animals. So if they were just giving birth, they wouldn't have that reaction. They love and feel connected. And, and again, they're birds and they're they go away eventually, but that's what we have to let our kids do too.
Yeah.
So, we have to let them live. And then also last thing, because I was trying to get science into this, the law of love as a missing equation in physics. Some people propose that the same coherence that sustains quantum states could be the same principle that preserves moral codes.
Yep.
That love is the cosmic force of coherence, driving systems to organize, evolve, and transcend chaos. So love is not separate from scientific discovery. And then Todd, the last one, heart math.
Yeah.
Todd and I are both trained in heart math.
Formerly certified.
Did our certification go away?
Yeah, every year.
It does, then formerly certified. It's been a few years. The research from Heart Math, where we were trained, has shown that a person in a state of coherence can affect another person's state of coherence through intention alone, even at a physical distance. So quantum physicists describe this as non-local connection. So like we have around our hearts, like an energy field,
magnetic field
that connects to other people. We've always talked about the brain's magnetic field, but the heart is much bigger than the brain.
Vast.
Exactly. So
just a few quick, you already talked about the elephants are famous for their deep familial bonds, and their reaction to death is profoundly striking. When a herd member dies, the entire family will gather around the body in absolute silence. They use their trunks to gently caress the face, ears, and tusks of the deceased. Orcas, you talked about them. An orca known as J35 gave birth to a cat that lived for only a few hours. What followed captivated the world. She carried her dead calf on her snout, balancing above the water surface for 17 straight days, traveling 1,000 miles. That's kind of crazy.
That's crazy.
And talks about chimps doing some crazy ass stuff too, in the best way. So
I'll end on this kind of philosophical synthesis. Okay. So the through line from quantum theory to Interstellar to biblical understanding, all of them suggest that love isn't just a feeling inside the universe. It may be part of the structure of the universe. And so listen to this. Every civilization in history, independent of each other, arrived at something like this as the answer. The ancient Greeks had eros as a cosmological principle. Hindu cosmological, I can't say that word. I need a new word.
9:00 at night, sweetie.
I know. I'm just going to leave that word out, everybody. Yeah. Hindu centers on Brahman as a loving unity. Sufi Islam says that universe emanates from divine love. Buddhism speaks of metta, which is loving kindness. and that's a natural state of awareness. The convergence doesn't prove anything scientifically, but it suggests this isn't just wishful thinking. It's something we keep discovering.
Yeah.
So it's like different, we go way, way back and, think about the Tai Ching,
Tao Te Ching.
Thank you. Tao Te Ching. 9:00, everybody. And then every, work of writing that's come after that, talking about love, we're arriving at the same thing, but hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years later.
Sure.
So it's just a very interesting, continuation of the same idea. Love keeps us together.
For Sale.
And Love Will Keep Us Together is by
Captain Tail.
Yeah, that's right.
I have a rolling in the deep question for you.
Let's go.
Probably an unfair one.
Okay.
Would you leave your kids to save humanity?
Well, I don't know. Right now, no, because that's not what I've been trained in. Not only by my my professional training, but as a mother and as a caregiver, it's to be connected and stay here.
Yeah.
I think that just by the nature of our culture and society, men have been more trained to do that, to go off, to leave. And that backfires on us a lot of the time.
Sure.
And so I don't mean that a woman couldn't do it. That's not, because obviously this movie is about a woman doing it.
Mm-hmm.
What I mean is that me personally, I don't have that drive.
Yeah.
I would rather stay here and take care of people.
That makes sense to me, sweetie.
Mm-hmm.
The only other rolling in the deep is Tom's storyline.
Oh my God, I was going to say that.
Turns into a bad guy, kind of.
Well, he's jaded. He and Murph go two different ways.
Yeah.
And this always happens. Tom is the son, his Cooper's son. A lot of times in families, there'll be trauma and each of the kids does something different.
Yeah.
Like one maybe becomes a perfectionist, one maybe struggles with addiction, one maybe disassociates, one maybe, repeats that, the thing that their parent did. Like everybody kind of deals with it differently, or they have physical ailments or whatever, black sheep.
Mm-hmm.
And in this movie, Murph becomes extreme, in like wanting to save the world and up, and Tom accepts that his dad's never coming home and is pissed.
Yeah.
And he's not wrong. It's kind of
hard to blame him.
It's a sad subplot.
You bailed, Dad. You bailed.
Tom stops sending the videos. He gets on with his life. He becomes a farmer. When you remember at the beginning, he's like, my son's not going to do that.
Sometimes you just got to move on. Like Helen Hunt's character in Castaway. She's like, I got to move on.
Kelly.
Yeah.
She's like, I got to marry Mr. Big.
Did we do Castaway?
The dentist.
Yeah, we did Castaway.
And, he accepted abandonment. He kind of got hardened up around it. But Murph never accepted it.
Yeah.
And she, even at the end, she's like, my dad told me he'd come back.
Okay. What other, if any, do you have any other categories?
What about the music game?
All right, let's do some music game. All right, why don't you go first?
What year was this again?
2014.
Okay, so I'm just going to go with a Coldplay song. I don't know if it came out exactly around that time, but it's a song that most people know. It's called The Scientist.
Okay.
And because Coldplay was kind of big around this time. And I'm going to just read you just a few of the lines so you understand what it's about. It's called The Scientist. Come up to meet you. Sorry, you don't know how lovely you are. I had to find you, tell you I need you, tell you I set you apart, tell me your secrets, ask questions. Let's go back to the start.
Let's go back to the start. I'm trying to find that part.
It's at the very beginning.
Oh, it's at the beginning.
Opening.
Up to meet you, tell you I'm sorry. You don't know how lovely you are.
So I think you might win.
Okay.
Mine's a little, well, maybe mine's not that obvious, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway.
Did you choose Rocket Man?
No. funny. You and I are so ourselves.
We are. And I'm going to say, I give you lots of props when you're good. Yeah. I don't think that captures the feel of Interstellar. I think
maybe
Interstellar
not
is.
Well, it's kind of dark and mysterious song.
It is, but this
time is a huge component of this movie.
It is, but does that, when you take the words out of it and the fact that it's called time,
yeah,
do you feel like that sound captures the melancholy of this movie?
Not that, but the lyrics sure do.
Sure.
It's just a depressing song.
But if you were to listen to the scientist and not even know the words, would you feel a little like sad?
It's a little more melancholy.
Yeah, that's kind of my point.
Even though the movie ends, he's going to be with Anne Hathaway, help her build that civilization.
I know. It's still sad and hard.
Of course.
Watch.
But it doesn't end without hope.
True. And without looking at humans from a positive angle.
Yeah.
That we're willing to sacrifice for each other, and that we will bond together even when things get really bad.
All right. We are going. So next week is Spaceballs, a movie very similar to Interstellar. But we're going to play it out with yours because I'll give you the award for today.
Thank you. And thanks for listening, everybody.
And keep trucking.
Ask me your questions. Oh, let's go back.